Alright guys, this is our Hunger Games map.
Yeah.
Oh yes!
Yeah.
So there's two crafting tables in the middle. We've got one here and one above. The initial reason for that was that there was only going to be a crafting table at the top to begin with, but it turned out that it would be too much trouble to like punch away all the leaves to reach it. And also when you're looking up, you're completely vulnerable to anyone nearby, so we figured we'd have two just so there's more of an option. So if you want to stay up top and hide from people or just get a bird's eye view, you can do.
I mean, if you think about it, some maps, some of the more popular maps even, have like 4 in the floor, on the bottom floor, like for example Moonbase, and then like 1 on the top floor as well. So I don't think we've overdone it with the two crafting
No,
tables.
I think it's a good balance. So that's the middle anyway. Don't ask me what these are. I made them in a sleepy, very sleepy state.
I quite like them though. They sort of feel like they go with the theme of the map, which is just
Random as
mad
fuck.
as fuck. Yeah. Basically.
So if you haven't guessed already by the name of the video, the map's name is 4 Paths. That was pretty much the name that I settled on straight away. The initial idea was to have 4 key focal points of the map that were completely different to each other. So for example, we've got an ice biome over there. Over here we've got kind of like a village, which initially was going to be a lava kind of like volcano, but changed my mind halfway through. We'll go to that in a second. Then we've got this area over here, which is mainly forests and plant life. And then this area is it's kind of like swamp / dead.
But
it's also
more of a spooky vibe.
It's a lot more spooky, a lot more mysterious. There's secret areas and stuff like that.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Holy shit! A lot of secret areas.
So before we leave the middle, I'll just quickly show you guys something. Initially there was going to be a little path under here, but instead of getting rid of it, I decided to block it off because it was a bit overpowered. One of the reasons was that you could sprint boost off the top of the roof, and everyone would end up going this way just because it was quicker. And when I made it 1 block higher, people would just get snagged on stuff when you were jumping, so I just blocked it off. So it works as kind of like a nice little peephole, so you can see the middle from the far side.
If you go around that side, you can have a little gander into the middle.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before we go on a little adventure, I'll just quickly set it to night. I think I've timed it so it was about 15 or 20 seconds delay from when the daylight sensor would actually sense that there was no light. So these things light up in a bit more of a dramatic fashion, which I think is really cool.
It's so fucking cool, dude.
that was the main thing I wanted to get working for the middle, because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a cornucopia on any survival games map that does that. Yes, I mean there's probably a few.
But it's super cool, and
I really like it. And
I don't like
this
how
area. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say I don't like how in like Terror and Survival Games 3, like just for an example of a map, is when it gets to night and you're in the middle, it is very hard to see, and often like when you put down a fire to start burning items, it's the only light source.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice, and also now being in the middle is a bit more risky because people can see into the middle from further off because it's light.
Yeah.
And it'll be easier to see, if there's anyone here. Yeah.
So you're completely visible across all sides.
We did discuss, that it did look a bit bare and if we should add more, but I think it's the best move to just leave it very bare, because now coming back to the middle for the chest refill isn't just standard routine.
Yeah.
You have to be wary about it, and if you come and you're not strong enough, then you will get punished.
So I'm sure you guys can see the theme of the map kind of is different types of wood. I just wanted to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Anyway, so where would you want to go first?
Do we go to the village first?
Yeah, let's go to the village. We spent a lot of time on this.
I say we don't actually go in anywhere. We just sort of give it a bird's eye view.
All right.
Because then I think we'll give away too much, and it'll be fun to play.
Okay. So we've got different areas. There's a lot of hidden areas in all the spots that you can see on this map. Everywhere you go, I should also mention, the chest count is quite high for a map of this size. The map radius is 200, which is, you can probably tell just because you can see the corners already. And the chest count is 350, which in some people's eyes is quite high, but we think it's perfect because there's enough chests for it to be entertaining and fun.
Yeah,
On a
and
constant,
also,
you don't get lost for chests, is what we try to get across. We don't want people aimlessly running around the map looking for chests.
no, that's it. We haven't just put chests down. We haven't just run around with a chest and just right-clicked anywhere. The chests have been put in locations where, especially the tier 2 chests, where they will be risky to try and get.
Yeah.
And they're not just placed randomly. They are placed in places that you will need to work to get to.
Yeah. There's no tier 2 chests. The only tier 2 chest that is close by, well, I say it's close by. That is within the closest reach of the middle is probably this one, but
Yeah, definitely.
you can't reach it without going across this little obstacle course. So it takes up a lot of time, and it's also pretty dangerous.
Yeah, with the fire and
Yeah.
you're very, very exposed up there.
Yeah. So for those of you unaware, I've got the ender chest selected as just a normal chest picture on my resource pack. That's just so you guys don't instantly know where all the tier 2 chests are located.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
Also, when I was taking pictures as well, it was for that.
Okay.
But that's how the MCSG network differentiate from tier 2 chests. So anyway, yeah, village.
The village took us how long? It was about, wasn't it? Like, weren't we up for about 8 hours doing it?
Oh yeah. I was off work. Alex had uni the next day,
Yeah.
and we were in Skype for about 8 hours.
Yeah. Because, and
yeah.
it was mainly. I mean, and that was only the church, wasn't it? That was the church alone.
Yeah. I initially spent about 2 or 3 hours working out the core kind of terraforming of this part. I didn't want it to be too big or too small. I wanted it to just be just about the perfect size without it looking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it came out okay. The mountain's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
And the idea was to have the church embedded in the mountain as some sort of religious cult kind of reasoning, because there's at the top here, I'm not going to go in there, but at the top there's something.
There's a little Easter egg.
There's stuff in there
And
that you will have to do trials for.
Yeah, the church isn't your average church. Like, it's a bit darker.
Yeah, it's
sort of added
pretty dark.
A spooky.
The idea is to
Silent
make it.
Hill.
Yeah, the idea was to make it as close to a spooky church from like a video game as possible. So we've got like everything that we could think of that would look scary but also church-like. So we've got like obviously the Weiss marble, we've got the soul sand, black glass, coal blocks, zombie Jesus.
No, Phil, zombie sausage.
No, it's Jesus. He's totally Jesus.
Read down here. Did you miss this?
Fine. Sausage.
Yes.
Fucking.
Zombie sausage. Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll not explore this area way too much, but
no.
This, yeah, you spent a long time with Stuart.
Yeah, Phil worked out the sort of.
I was doing the whole terraforming and copying things over using World Edit to save time.
Yeah.
Alex and Stuart works pretty much non-stop for about 4 or 5 hours on the design of this. Like, we went through about 5 or 6 different designs before we settled on this one.
And it's ridiculous. Like, the size alone, we had to work. Like, we had to think how hard it would be to make it fit in and not be too big or too small. Yeah,
we wanted to keep the map to a certain scale without everything looking way too big. And obviously, just like you said, way too small. So everything, we had to take a lot of things into consideration. And since this is the first major build that we've done, it was really fucking tough. We initially, can you remember how big this was when we first did it?
The church was going to come out to the ridge initially,
wasn't
it?
It was going to come up to about here. It was just taking up so much space.
And then we thought, hold on, maybe not.
Yeah.
And we had to resize it, but...
So, I mean, I guess whilst we're at the edge of the map, I'll quickly look at this, the outskirts. So initially there was just pure flatland, and we were trying to think of a way to enclose the map without it looking too unnatural, because of course you've got to use the glass. So the first thought we had was actually you, wasn't it? You thought of enclosing the entire world in water.
So it would look sort of like... The first thing that came to my mind is in SpongeBob with Sandy's little hut.
Yeah.
and it would sort of look like that, but the theme would be, you know, a huge tsunami or whatever had swept the world, and inside the dome was a sort of a civilization that carried on.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of issues with that, wasn't there?
Yeah, one of the main issues was that the entire map would be very, very dark.
Yeah.
Now that would work in concept if we started from scratch and built a map to purely be underwater, then we would accommodate for that. We would make everything kind of revolve around internal power, power circuits, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it looked
really
like it was lit up. But no, we've got quite an open world, so there would be a lot of dark spots. And the last thing we wanted was a really, really dark map. We wanted everything to be easily visible.
And also, with that amount of water, and with how we'd have to do it with the whole, like building far back so you couldn't see the edge of the map, the possibilities of it lagging the map would have been present.
Yeah, that was an issue. We're not 100% sure on what causes a map to lag the most, but we do know that something like that would cause it.
It could be a contributing factor.
Yeah. So the initial kind of outskirts design that I fell on was just kind of like a wasteland. I was going to have lava kind of like flowing down these ridges, but I decided against it just so there was...
I think it's turned out really nice, man.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be too overpowering. I just wanted something in the background that you could see, but not really like take your eyes off what's going on. So I think I just used the tiger trees and just kind of retextured the leaves to soul sand.
Oh, you remind me. What are those called now?
Oh no, it's Acacia.
That's what I was going to say.
Why am I saying tiger? I'm probably thinking of the biome. Anyway, yeah, so I did that. So it looks really, really dead. So this is kind of like a safe haven from a dead wasteland of a world.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing we were going for. So this is the start of the ice biome. The initial idea was to have ice everywhere, but then I realised it was going to be way too powerful because you just move so quick.
Yeah, you could get from one into the other in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was, with the map being as small as it is, it seemed way too overpowered. So a lot of these like structures that you see here are actually completely hand built, block by block by
They all are,
Alex.
all of them, apart from the big dome.
Apart from the dome, yes. So the dome was put in with a world edit. Everything else was just hand built by Alex, Stu, and Sam.
And yourself. You did this, didn't you?
Oh, I did this one. Yeah, I did this one.
And the thing we should explain about the ice biome is that although it may look very bare, the thing we've gone with for the ice biome is most of the structures are inside the mountain.
Yeah.
We did, I did initially build a sort of ice castle, but it looked so out of place. It stuck out like a sore thumb. We got rid of it.
Yeah, instead of these little caves that we have that lead to different kind of exits and spots, so there's chests in there, of course. Alex had a big castle, and it really looked out of place with everything else. So it
would have looked good anywhere apart from an ice biome, but
it ruined the natural kind of look.
Yeah. It didn't look as wastelandish. It just didn't look right.
Yeah.
But along the mountain there is a lot of different, little rooms, little nooks and crannies that you can go into. Tugsy, Ryan built a nice little ice cafe in this.
Oh yeah, this thing over here. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'll just quickly show everyone what this looks like. I put glowstone underneath snow, and of course, when you put something on top of glowstone, if it's carpet or snow, it shines through. There we go. So I think this turned out pretty well. I wanted to make it look as if the light was shining down from this glow ball.
And it does. It does, I think.
And it looks like it kind of lights it up, yeah.
Yeah.
There's different spots where I put it as well, just kind of give some more focus to the map so people can be like, oh, what's in there? And just like run through. Like this one over here with the little cave. But yeah, there's various spots. There's a lot of jumpy puzzles hidden in between these mountains.
Yeah.
There's one in here. I really like I think it's Stu did this. I really like what he did with the glowstone. It makes it look like it's a three-dimensional effect.
Oh no, that was me.
Is that you? Oh, that's really I really like it. It's like, yeah, it's a bit trippy.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Oh, Tugsy's,
Ryan's in.
Ryan's joined.
Ryan's one of the owners of the server. He went 3 ways on the cost of the server with me and Phil.
Yeah.
And although he's not been hugely contributing to the map. He has thrown in a lot of very nice ideas and a few nice structures.
We'll quickly look at one of those now, actually.
Yeah. So this is probably Ryan's biggest one.
Yeah. So it got to the point where we were finishing the snow biome, and I was like, there needs to be something else here because this is just blank. And I just thought, fuck it, I'll just make a little stone mountain thing. I'll put some ice at the top of it, and we'll make it kind of a jumpy puzzle to get to the top of it, and then another jumpy puzzle to get away from it. So you've got a chance to run away and get another chest. You have a sort of exit strategy from the top. You don't have to just jump back down. But Ryan, without my knowledge, decided to make this little thing, and
he was on the server for a while. I didn't see him, so I TP'd to him, and I just came into this room. I was like, oh. So this is the thing.
It's a nice cafe now. Yeah, I really like it. It's a nice little like safe haven that you can go to craft things. Which you put a crafting table down. We thought long and hard about where crafting tables will go just to balance the map.
That was probably like one of the things we discussed the most.
Yeah, we didn't want people to just congregate in one part of the map, so a lot of the crafting table placements are very specific. So we've got one here and the double chest, which will have a lot of food in. It's not a tier 2. For obvious reasons, that would be way too ridiculous. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I really like it.
That's mostly the cover of the ice biome. Really.
Pretty much topped it off with a few branches just to make it look like those vines.
Yeah.
There's a cemetery as well down here that Ryan built.
It's also another one of Ryan's builds. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we start to get to the part of the map that's a bit kind of like ruin, Aztec-y, kind of
theme
dark.
shift. Yeah.
Yeah. So in here we've got a few different traps. I'm not going to go down there. I say traps. There's a few different areas where there's some
sort of
hidden
area.
Yeah. There's a crypt underneath. We'll not go down there though.
Nah,
it's fairly basic, but if you go down there, you need backup, or you will get shanked.
Yeah, you'll get shoot.
FYI. So this is an idea I had just randomly. This used to be completely bare.
And it didn't look good. I did not like
it. It looked a bit poo, and I was just thinking what I could put here that would make it look even spookier. So I figured jungle trees, and then just retextured, replace the logs with the darkest wood log that you can get. And then,
it's a nice transition as well from the graveyard.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I made sure to keep some of the leaves roughly the same color as the ones that preceded it. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It looks like they're just dying. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, very dark.
Yeah. Oh, we might as well come over to this bridge and be up house whilst we're here.
Okay. Yep.
So the little bridge, I just had an idea to have a bridge at some point because we're random like that. I was just like, fuck it.
Because bridge.
Because bridge. Oh, also these things. Yeah, there's little holes inside these corners of each of the entrances to the snow biome, and specifically I wanted them to be a quick kind of transport between the two sides, but also a nice way to escape somebody if you can, so you can boost off the ice and you can juke people quite well, and you can jump up here. There's lots of different areas for escape. That's the main thing I wanted to do. Anyway, yeah, we'll go back. There's a few more of those, but so these things here, these were built by Ryan.
They were built by Ryan, but it was just this one built, and then we duplicated it, but some of the stuff didn't copy over.
So we had to rebuild it.
Well, saying Ryan built it, we think Ryan built it.
No, actually Ryan did. Yeah, Ryan did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I spoke to him recently about it. He said he built it.
Okay, yeah, we didn't know for a long time. They sort of just appeared, and no one owned up to them. And then we copied it with this one, but some of the stuff didn't cross over, and it took me far too long to add in the missing bits, because I really like them. I think they're really cool. They're very simple, but
yeah, I like the simplicity.
They look like what you think they should look like.
Yeah.
And so copying it over, because of like he used different blocks, he used stairs at some points, it was a ball ache. But they do look very good, and I like how they're sort of facing away from each other.
I like how they're cyclops.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, anyway, we've got I put in a few trees in here, just kind of split this area up a bit. I didn't want the whole middle of the map completely exposed, even though it is rather exposed with the light. I didn't want it to be a complete arse. So we've got like trees knocking about just to give people some cover, or if you wanted to be daring, you could jump on top of them and snipe people. So it just gives more of a range of attacks, and of course defense.
Fine.
Oh, the Mariah's gone. So this thing, I just had to put an arch. I just needed to put an arch somewhere.
Yeah, that just has to happen.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It's a nice little addition.
I really like it. And of course, there's little hidey holes that you can hide in. So you can
sniping area as well. Yeah.
You can snipe people in the middle. You can just hide out. There's various little spots that you can camp in if you want to be really sneaky, like here. It's a secret between me and you. No, don't go. Oh, fuck.
I saw.
There's a lot of little like secret things like that. And we also took like incredible great deal of time making sure that the map, you making sure you couldn't get stuck anywhere. That was my main gripe with a lot of MCSG maps.
Honestly, I think the proof checking of like the spots where you could fall into things that were like 2-3 blocks deep was longer than most of the big builds.
That's my main gripe. Like,
it really is so annoying when you're playing a map and you'll run into a hole and then your game will be over just because someone hasn't. And it's not as though they've put it there on purpose. It's literally just like
it's just through terrain generation when it comes to world edit or what's it called? I forget what it's called now. Voxel sniper. It's things that can happen whilst you're using those tools, and if you don't spot them or if you don't proof check them, then they just ruin maps, in my opinion.
And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. It's
just the worst. Like,
a lot of people would say, "Oh, it just makes it harder," but I personally think it just ruins them. It's just, it can happen. You can just fall into one by accident. It's just no fun. So we made absolutely certain that there are no spots anywhere on the map like that. So yeah.
But I think it's going to be worth it.
That's probably my most proudest achievement. That this map is completely like solid.
Well, not trap proof, but yeah, it's
just solid.
It's
just very tightly sealed. So yeah, we've got this thing here which you built. I really enjoy it.
Initially it did look very out of place because it just started as a big wall. But then it sort of turned into a bit of a ruin.
It just kind of evolved, yeah. Initially, I was just like, that looks really basic, and I showed you the I told you to like fly up and just kind of get a good look at it, but then your creativity blossomed, and this thing was built. It's very nice.
It just looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, I really like it. It's one of my favorite parts of the map at the moment.
Thank you.
It's very pretty. I like how it just completely divides this area, so you have to choose where you want to go. You can't just keep running straight ahead. So this is Machu Picchu. This was one of the first ideas that I had. So I was like, I need to have.
Yeah, I think this was the first thing that got built, wasn't it? This was the very first thing.
I just needed to have Machu Picchu somewhere in the map because I just love the rice paddy kind of fields that we've got on the different levels of generation. And then I tasked Stu with building this thing, which is really nice.
Did a very good job.
Now, are we gonna go?
I was gonna ask, should we show them?
Should we? Well,
I think we should.
The picture's gonna be in the screenshot gallery, so
let's show them.
We'll show them where it is. I mean, it's pretty obvious for anyone that's played an MCSG map. You just kind of follow the signs. So, like these here, we've got little green emerald ores. I did a lot of water kind of server trickery. So there's different areas in the map where there's just stuff like that. Yeah, so it's very pretty. I really like it.
So then you come down into
I spent a lot of time kind of decorating. Yeah, the lighting was very kind of specific about this. I really wanted to make it look dark and dingy, but also kind of like moldy as well. It's hard to get across. So I used like mycelium dirt, of course, and all these different types of blocks just to give that kind of mold, but also Aztec type feel. Initially, we were going to have.
Are we going to show them inside or not? Are we going to let them find out what's in there?
We'll pop down there just to give them a look. Initially, we were going to have vines, but then we realised how broken that was because people could just break the vines.
Then you can't get out.
Yeah. So this is a maze, which has some tier 2 chests over there. If you can solve the maze.
Yeah, it took me a long time.
Good luck. I mean, most people that are aware of how mazes work would be perfectly fine, to be honest. But if you're like us, we are dumb as fuck.
Let's just say it was harder building it than it was working it out and solving it.
Yeah. There's also little spots like this, just knocking about. Just a little peek.
There's a lot of them.
So yeah, there's also an exit over here, which also doubles as a secret entrance, but I'll not show you how to do it.
You're gonna have to work that one out.
Because I'm a penis.
Right, onwards and upwards.
Yeah. So this
So
thing,
that's Machu Picchu.
yeah, this is Machu Picchu. There's also, like I said, there's also a lot of chests. And there's a lot of areas that look like you can get stuck, but you actually can't. So don't worry about that. So yeah, this is the main forest. Nice burp, dude.
Thanks, man.
This is Wiz's Tower. This was made by Stu. With a few modifications by myself and him, actually. We just decided to kind of modify it a little bit. With various different types of colours. We've got this bridge overhanging across the top. That's a suspender bridge at the same time for this thing.
Yeah.
We kind of just wanted to give a feel of like gravity gone wrong.
Yeah.
So this thing
like
wouldn't really work, depending on what materials you. I mean, you could probably make it work, but yeah, we just want to make it look really cool. But to get up here is pretty dangerous. There is reward for that danger, of course, which I'll. Yeah, there was always reward for danger. But this tree, this was hand built by Alex.
Took me a very long time.
Completely hand built. The initial idea was, oh, I'll just use World Edit and just make it. But then we kind of got in a conversation about, well, it's probably gonna look really crap. It'll look like all the other trees that you make in World Edit.
Yeah.
Alex,
Just a bigger version.
Alex just said, well, why don't I just build it block by block? And I was like,
So
you
threw
what?
Superbad on. I got myself a coffee, and I'd done it in about 2 days.
Yeah.
and honestly, the hardest part was the top bit, the bush, and it's trying to make it look natural, and it was very, very hard, and it was just frustrating because, I mean, the thing that people don't realise with the big structures is that they think you get an idea in your mind, and then you start building, and then you're finished. But the amount of times I've had to restart something or change something or just completely scrap it and start again because it doesn't look right is ridiculous. I mean, that's what makes big structures take a while.
Yeah.
Stuff like the bush at the top. I did the bush 6 or 7 times before I was happy with it. And now I think it looks good, and I like the vines and the leaves that come up the tree that you can climb up to get inside the tree.
Yeah.
But it took a very long time.
Yeah, I'm making sure not to punch away any leaves. I'm just showing people where you could punch leaves if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can get out if you punch the leaves, but
yeah.
And then there's also a little bit inside as well at the root of the tree.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. We got this little entrance thing.
The throne room.
Yes, the throne room. Which should have your head on it, to be honest.
It really should, shouldn't it?
I've got your head somewhere.
Yeah, throw my head on it. Throw my head on that.
Where's your head? There it is. Where do you want it?
That's good. King of the trees, Willy head.
There we go, as an addition to the map.
Brilliant.
I have to download the map again, fuck.
Live, building with Phil and Alex.
LOL. There's a lot of really kind of weird dark areas that MC Edit calls, but we can always get rid of those. So this is the main forest.
Yeah, this is the forest area.
There's a lot of chests here, mainly on the top of the trees. So, like I said, we initially wanted to have a map that would have a lot of chests and not lead to kind of boring searches for chests. We just wanted to keep it fast, action-paced, nice and small, arena-type style gameplay.
Yeah.
That was the main core design that we wanted to stick to.
But, you know, like we say, they are on top of the trees, so they're not going to be easy to get to.
Yeah, yeah. Once you get up, you don't want to drop down. But if you do drop down, there are still a couple of chests knocking about.
Yeah, there are a few chests down beneath.
There's
as well.
not many, but there are a couple. Couldn't tell you where they are, to be honest. I know they are just dotted about in random spots.
Even I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Oh, shall we show them the miners in?
Yeah, why not? So this is another build by Ryan.
Yeah, initially Ryan started this build, but then I built all the cabins. But Ryan has to take credit for, you know, the idea and the theory behind it.
Yeah. Initially we had to kind of like pull this back a bit because it was overhanging past the outskirts of the map.
Yeah.
But it turned out okay.
That took a long time to do.
Good. There's nothing in these dispensers, by the way, guys. So, you know, not those dispensers anyway.
Not yet.
Hint, 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 hint. Hinty, hinty, hints. So yeah, there's some nice pretty areas in here. It's a random library. And then of course you got the mine.
The theme behind the whole thing is the mine, which which is actually closed.
Yeah. So we are aware that you can glitch things out of item frames, but we didn't think it was that much of a big deal with these items, so these ones are staying in here. And of course other bits and bobs like food. But we are aware that those can be glitched out. We made sure not to make any items available.
OP. Yeah. We did initially, didn't we? We had like sets of diamond and diamond sword and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. In the village, there's an armory, and we initially had that just kind of open, and you could kind of glitch through it with an ender pearl, but now we've made it impossible. Yeah. So it's still there, but you can't get through.
Yeah.
Like we've tested it multiple times.
We spent about an hour just testing that alone.
There's a little mountain, of course. We've got a squid down there. Hello.
More nooks and crannies.
Nooks and crannies. Everywhere you go, just if you follow just your basic instincts of MCSG, like Minecraft survival games, you will just find chests.
Yeah, if you've played before, you'll know where to go.
You'll know all the tricks. You'll know all the areas that you usually find stuff, like at the tops of things, and of course at the corners of maps. I made sure to reward people that search the very edge of the map, like that entirely scour the entire map. So you will get rewarded for that. Of course, I've put some chests in here actually. I don't think I told you about this. You can actually get onto these. Oh no, these trees.
I never saw that.
You can get onto these trees with some jumpery. I'm not going to show you how, but anybody with basic parkour knowledge could figure it out. But I wanted to have something on there just to give people more of an area to go to, because once you get to the bottom, like say for example if you're getting chased, you're checking these chests and someone's right behind you, you can drop into here, and we've got some really long grass, and that shit will protect you for a limited amount of time. So I guess we've just kind of introduced this halfway. This is the. Do you want to introduce it because it's your build?
I don't really know what we decided as. I think Sam and Stu always used to refer to it as botanical gardens.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called Steve always called it the Jade Garden. I don't really know what it's called. I built it all. But Sam and Stu gave me some help on the top floor with some of the designs and stuff. And this is another one this probably took me longer than the tree, just because of I mean, we only really finished it a few nights ago, didn't we? Because of we found issues where you could get trapped in certain places.
We also found places where if you had an ender pearl, you could ender pearl yourself into danger, or you could ender pearl yourself into an area where nobody else could reach you, which we thought was a bit unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, there are spots on the map where you could do that, but you're pretty much like fucked.
Until you leave that area, you can't. You won't benefit from it.
So this is we just wanted to make it so it's just there was no reason or no way that you could get stuck.
Shall we go inside? Shall we go and show them?
Yeah, let's go inside. Let's give it a little tour. Might as well.
Okay, so the first floor is
dark areas,
purely aesthetic. I'll wait for you to come down.
I just despise dark areas. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So the bottom floor, like I say, is it's just purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
We've got, which was purely mistake, but then worked on. We have the roof watering the flowers.
I've got that turned off actually. I've got particles turned off. Yeah.
It's working for me.
I've got particles turned off. I'll just turn them on real quick.
Okay.
It's so people couldn't see the ender chests. There we go.
Yeah, just for now, so you can see this.
So they kind of act like sprinklers.
Yeah, this was purely mistake.
Yeah.
But then we built on it, and it now looks really good, I think.
So that's why there's like two different layers here. We've kind of stopped it from leaking onto the floor.
Yeah, and instead just onto the flowers.
Yeah, only allowed it to leak on there.
So we have, this level is just plants and trees and pretty things, and there are a lot of chests hidden around. Some in plain sight, some very much not in plain sight.
Yeah, there's a few that are just you will have to seriously look for them to find.
Yeah.
We also made it so you could jump out of these areas if you got knocked in. So if you do get like hit over, you do have a chance of escaping. Yeah.
So this was probably This probably took me the longest out of the whole build, just because of, you know, different sizes for the areas that the flowers would go in, and then patterns that I could put the flowers in, and just stuff like that. It just took a very long time. But then the second floor, which is sort of more of a farm vibe, took no time at all.
So this initially used to be fenced, but we changed it to glass because you could end up early
and then never get back out.
Yeah.
So there's
we just kind of thought of ways that people could accidentally mess up or abuse certain features of the map. So we just try to eliminate those. We didn't want any unfair advantages.
Yeah, because if you could get kitties out and then just end up only
just sit in here, and just hide behind stuff.
So in here you've sort of got a more of a desert farm vibe, and then on the right, of course, it's more of a, you know, a natural farm sort of thing.
Yeah,
which I think turned out quite nice. And this is it's you know, it's a sort of, I don't know what in the real world it's like, but it's just a place where people can come. You know, if this was a real city that they could come and look at and, you know, be like, oh, that's pretty, sort of thing. Like, it's not an actual farmhouse.
Yeah.
It's just for show. And then at the top, we have the Tree of Life.
Kind of like the Eden Project.
Yeah, that was it. That was what I was thinking of, the Eden Project. We have the Tree of Life up here.
Spoiler, that's a tier 2.
Well, I reckon they could have guessed that would be a tier 2 because it's right at the top.
Yes, we made it, of course, different areas that you can get to. Obviously made it so you are rewarded for adventuring through various spots and seeing it through to the end. And of course, we've got a crafting table here if you have any boots and loots.
Because if you can make it all the way up here with no one following you, then there's either not a lot of people in the game, or you're a scary individual. And if you do come up here, you know, there's only one way back out, and if there's people waiting for you down there, you're screwed. So you do have to take a certain risk coming up here.
Could just close the door on them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they could wait down there the whole game.
Just keep closing it on them. Hey, screw you, Bob.
Pretty sure people have done that before to me before.
Old tactics are old. So I'm going to quickly turn off particle effects again so nobody knows where stuff is. Boop. Boop. We don't want to give too many secrets away.
I mean, I assume if this map gets popular enough, at some point everyone will know what the tier 2 chests are, but it hasn't been used once yet, so.
No. The only playtesting we've done is just ourselves running around parkour testing various areas and making sure that you can't get stuck in random spots. It's pretty much it. Of course, we did run around and check distances between chests, and of course the crafting table locations.
The crafting table location was very, very. I mean, that was very. What's the word? Pernickety. We had to work think hard and long about where we were going to put them.
I don't think that's a word, dude.
Pernickety, yeah, it is. Pernicketive. Pernickety.
You sure
I didn't think it was. A friend of mine used it, and I didn't think it was, but then he proved us all wrong. It's definitely a word.
Dictionary, that shit, yeah.
Yeah. That'll be in the pernickety. Yeah. Pernicketive. One of them two. That'll be in the dictionary.
Brilliant.
And you also saw that outside part of the gardens. So that's good.
I glanced at something that I didn't want to fully explore.
What's that?
I'm not going to mention it. We'll keep going. Basically, if you just follow your nose, guys, you will find stuff. That's the way we've designed this map.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, so this is the lighthouse. A real life friend of mine called Steve. I told him about the map, and he wanted to come and have a look at it, and he did. And he thought, you know what this map needs? A lighthouse. And he just built away and built a lighthouse, and I think it's turned out really nice.
Yeah, he was completely humble about it. He was like, Phil, I've built a lighthouse. I'm not sure if it's okay. Can you check if it's alright? Because he wasn't sure about the location at first, but I think it's perfect.
No.
I mean, it's it's pointless, but that is the point of the map.
Well, exactly.
Because, like, from a technological or real life kind of standpoint, like there's no need for this to be here, but I like it. So
but there's no need for the gardens.
Exactly, yeah.
There's
the whole point of the map was just we didn't want to stick to anything realistic. We just thought, well, what would be cool?
Yeah. I mean, and
that was
if you
just
think
our
about
mindset.
this is this is the most water populated area on the map.
Yeah.
So if there was a ship to come and sit in these waters, they'd need a lighthouse, and we've got them covered. So, you know.
Also, I made it my mission to make every piece of water perfect. So you will not find any slow-moving water currents. You know how sometimes you can get stuck in the water for ages because it's pushing against you? Yeah, you won't find that shit here. I've also made it so the water just looks static wherever it is.
So this was Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Yep, thank you, Steve. It's very good, very nice, very good. Nice
And
little
this
lily
was,
pads.
I believe, yeah, the lily pads the placement were also quite hard worked at.
Yeah, if you mess up, you're done.
If you're retarded like me, you won't do it right, but I'm sure a lot of you will.
So this is a fisherman's lodge that you built.
This was the second build on the map.
Yeah, it's fairly basic, but we just need something on here.
Yeah, I remember building this, and when I finished it, I was so proud of it. And then I looked around the map, I was like, we have a lot of work to do. And it just pales in comparison to everything now. But it's nifty. It's just a little place away, and you know, obviously there's a lot of hidden chests around. This area is very worth coming to.
Yeah.
There initially was a crafting table here, but because of where we put the other ones, they were in too close proximity, so we had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And also props to Sam for helping me on this. I finished the core designs, but Sam helped me a lot with the decoration of it and different things to put down.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you stole some logs from
that's
Valleyside University.
Yeah, Valleyside.
Oh, she gonna be mad.
Thanks, you guys. So yeah, this is the lodge. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's nifty.
We have a grave over here, Alex.
So yeah, this is
this grave.
I believe this is Sam's grave.
Do we speak of Sam?
R.I.P. Bad kid for life. Bad kid for life.
We'll just leave him to rest.
See, dude. R.I.P. R.I.P. in peace. You only get alone once.
So yeah, when you fully explore this map, you will find little things like we've hidden stuff all over the place. There's a sewer there.
Won't go down there.
Nope.
That's something you're gonna have to work out for yourselves.
You make it sound so cryptic. It's really basic, actually.
We'll see.
It's just a very dangerous area to go to, but of course, like we said, with danger comes
well, there
reward.
is a begins with T and ends in roll in there. Or did you remove that?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, so we got some trolls going on.
I think I might have left it.
Oh yeah. So you guys can go and see what that has in store.
Yeah.
And then I think the final two things is this mine.
Oh yeah, there's a mine.
Sam also built.
Yep. Which used to be incredibly overpowered, but then
R.I.P. Seagull McBird.
We nerfed it.
Best miner ever. If you watch the hardcore series, you'll understand that reference.
There's a lot of different spots in here that you can get stuck. Well, I say get stuck, that you can get trapped.
Yeah, you can get back.
You can get back out perfectly fine, but you need to be with somebody, or it's just going to be a complete clusterfuck.
Yeah.
You need to be super quick.
You do not want to go down there on your own.
Yeah.
And then finally, a sort of out of bounds village house, one outside the walls.
Yeah. We just felt like something needed to be here. It gives people more of an option to go for this type of like chest route.
Yeah.
So you can pick up this stuff here and then head towards the village.
Yep.
Or if you want to be daring, you can head straight towards Lighthouse. Yeah, it's entirely up to you, but yeah, there's a lot of different spots.
You'll make up your mind. You'll decide what you think's best.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this map.
Yeah, and that's it, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, guys,
I mean,
if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube Bollocks. If you'd like to see this map, or if you have any suggestions, I mean, it's pretty much done, but if you want to leave any suggestions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and we will look at them.
Yes, do that.
With our eyes.
And if any of you play the Minecraft survival game servers, whenever this map comes up, vote for it.
If it comes up, this shit hasn't even been accepted yet, dude.
When, mate, when.
It's no.
Just
no.
It's happening.
Have you seen this shit?
It's gonna happen.
Alright guys, catch you guys later.
With my eyes.
I can see it.